Well done, Bangladesh, off to a super start to their Super Force journey. They beat Sri Lanka convincingly, 169. Perhaps not easy to chase, but then they did it in grand style. Despite all that drama in the end, it is a win that will really give Bangladesh a shot in the arm. A lot of belief post this result. Terrific result. Well done to their batters. Saif was one of the stars, and then you saw Towhid Hridoy bat so well. A couple of big stars that enabled this win with the bat. Sri Lanka will wonder what happened when they had the ball in the hand. And we've got two very impressed cricket fans, cricket experts in the house on Cricbuzz Live. Murali, Kartik and Rohan Gavaskar will tell us where this Bangladesh has been. This was a terrific brand of cricket from them today.
Yeah, especially after what we saw. They dropped some catches and allowed Sri Lanka to get to 168, a good innings from, we saw Dasun Shanaka.
Yep.
But then that's what we've seen even in the last game, and Afghanistan took that momentum but then gave the momentum away. It's about the start. Again, coming back to the start, which Rohan always talks about, we saw that Tushara and Chamira weren't at their best. Hasaranga, the Lone Ranger, even Dunit Vellalage went for a few at crucial times. So it's too many. When you can have as many bowling options, but if they're going for runs, where do you plug the runs from? But really well done. Just the way we've seen some batting. We saw some real fine batting today. Towhid Hridoy, you mentioned. Saif at the start was again very good. A good little innings from the skipper. I think he at least kept the tempo going. I know he got out at the wrong time at that stage when he was looking really good. Yep. But they had enough batting, and more importantly, Towhid Hridoy got stuck in the middle. And that was the time when Saif Hassan got out because he felt the pressure. But he made sure that he took it upon himself, that he will actually take it to the opposition, and did really well. I think clinching effort from him. So really well done, Bangladesh.
Perfect day at the office for the captain. Litton won the toss on a dry-looking pitch, chose to bowl first. I suppose they felt that the chasing would be easier, and their batters made it look good. Saif Hassan, Towhid Hridoy, very attractive innings for both of them. Litton chipping in with 23 as well. And when he got out, one might have thought, oops, where do they go from here? But then Towhid Hridoy had the special innings left in the tank. 169 chase done and dusted with just one ball to spare. A lot of drama in the end. But Bangladesh fans, Rohan, will be thrilled to bits at this result.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like with one ball to spare, it looks like it was a close game. It wasn't. For the last three and a half overs, Bangladesh were in control of this chase. You've got to say, you spoke about Litton having a good game. You've got to give him credit for also picking that extra batter. We spoke about it. Are they going with one bowler less? They went in with that extra batter, which enabled them to have that strong start. And then, as Cathy summed it up earlier, Saif played a good innings. Towhid in the middle got stuck, but then that towards the end, after Saif got out, the way he batted was just spectacular.
At no stage did one feel that Bangladesh are not in the chase. Yep. They were in control through and through.
Absolutely. And I think just the way they paced it, it's very important. Sometimes you get a feeling that you're slightly behind the 8 ball, but that wasn't the case. At the halfway stage, they were, 82, 10 ahead of what Sri Lanka had been at that stage. And then just the way every batter complemented one another, I think makes for good viewing there. That is something which they'll be extremely delighted about. It's about getting over the line, and you have your important batters whom you've allocated a few jobs to. Just think of what Jakar did. Just a quick 9, but at a crucial time.
Yeah.
Just makes things easy. So these are small contributions that you want, but more importantly, the main batters. And I think Saif, you have to give him all the credit. Just the way he took on the hero from the last game, Nuwan Tushara especially, that flick 6 was a standout. And just beautifully paced. I think that was the most important thing. Wanindu Hasaranga was the only one who commanded respect, and because he bowled beautifully. He was as if, we'll come back to the same point. Oh, can we have one more over from Hasaranga, please? But not to beat.
If the rule comes in where you give an extra bowler.
But that's what happens. Whereas you look at the others, one going at 10.5, Chamira giving runs at the wrong time, going at 8. Kamindu Mendis, that was a crucial over. That actually opened the floodgates, giving away 16 runs. Dunit Vellalage going at 9, Hasaranga going at 5.5.
Also, what we've spoken about throughout this tournament is that generally who wins the power play wins the game.
Sure.
And that was the case in today's match as well.
They had 59 in the power play, and the man that set the tone was Saif Hassan, 26 years of age. Wasn't their first choice opener at the start of the tournament, replaced Parvez Hussain Imon, and there is 61 attractive runs laced with 4 gorgeous sixes. And I suppose everyone's favourite would be that flick shot.
Yeah, that flick shot was spectacular. And I just think the way he... you said something that right from the start, Bangladesh were always in control of this chase. Thanks largely due to Saif.
Yeah, true.
Till he was there, he was the aggressor. He was the guy who said, I'm going to put my hand up. I'm going to be the guy in charge of this chase and this victory. So while he was there, he did all the running, so to speak, and all the heavy lifting. Once he got out, that's when Towhid came in and, he took over that role. But kudos to Saif and the way he batted, just, again, spectacular.
Towhid Hridoy, the other batting hero, came in when the score was about 60 for 2 in the 7th over. And when he came in, Kartik, he did take some time to get going. He was playing at a runner ball for the first 20 deliveries. And that's sort of coincides with that slowish passage of play where the score at less than 6 and over.
Yep.
But once he was set, he seemed to have just hit 5th gear straight away.
I think more than set, I would say once Vanindu got Saif Hassan. There were a few words exchanged.
Yeah.
I don't know what fired Towhid Hridoy after that, because he hit back-to-back sixes and suddenly his scoring rate had jumped and suddenly he felt like he had moved from neutral or first gear to overdrive.
Yeah.
And I think that is a great asset if you have. That's something which not many people can do. You're suddenly struggling or you seem to be struggling, and suddenly something happens, whether it's the loss of a wicket or something which happens inside, which just G's you up, and then you're a different person altogether. So, yeah, he did look stuck in the middle, if I can use that word, or if I can use that term, because I don't think that allowed Saif, he was free-flowing at that point of time, and suddenly you felt as if Saif was trying to do something, and that is the time when he played that shot of Vanindu Hasaranga and got out.
We often talk about the number of dot balls in an innings. While the big shots weren't coming early on, he was still rotating the strike.
Yeah, and I think that's key.
Yeah.
I think that's key, that you keep rotating the strike and you don't let that dot ball pressure build up. What Kartik will tell you, as someone who's played a lot more T20 cricket and who was a bowler, a frontline bowler, is that when people talk about, he should get a wicket in T20 cricket to get pressure, how do you get that wicket? You get that wicket by building pressure, by bowling dot balls.
Oh.
That's when the batter feels he's got to do something different, something spectacular, go for the big shot, and in doing so sometimes you make a mistake. That's why even if you're getting singles and not the boundaries, but not conceding dot balls, you're doing a good job.
He came into bat, Towhid Hridoy, in the 7th over, got out in the 19th over. In those 12 overs, I thought slowly he managed to get a really firm grip on this chase. That strike rate of 157, good enough, 4 fours and 2 sixes. And Towhid Hridoy really is the man that had an opportunity to close the game after Saif got out, and he gave the country and their fans exactly what they wanted. This would perhaps change the belief completely in the Bangladesh dressing room as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I think they needed a victory like this, especially they're playing in the same group still. It is B1 versus B2. And this was the same team which defeated them. They only got 138 and they were handed a very, easy victory. So yeah, it'll be a big injection to their confidence, because you've beaten a side. There's obviously history. And more importantly, whatever you've tried to do has worked for you, whether it's playing one bowler less, whether it's playing one batter extra, and the fact that in spite of going for a few runs, in spite of dropping a few catches, just to maintain that self-belief. And also, whatever must have been spoken at the halfway stage, they must have definitely spoken, let's stay ahead of them in the power play, let's stay ahead of them at the halfway stage, and maybe we can pause the chase from here, and that's exactly what they've done.
See, also they've broken the hoodoo, right? In UAE,
First time.
It's the first time they've beaten Sri Lanka. In this tournament, Sri Lanka were unbeaten up until now. They've beaten them again. So, in a sense, they've broken that hoodoo as well.
I think only the second win in the last 16 games. So, from that point of view as well, a very crucial win. Also, going forward, if you've beaten a big team like Sri Lanka, India and Pakistan will look at this Bangladesh with a little bit more respect than they would have otherwise.
No, of course. If you put the Bangladesh that played the league stage in front of India and Pakistan, they say, oh yeah, okay, they're not in form, and they need to be better. Bangladesh need to be better. But if you put the Bangladesh that played this game in front of India and Pakistan would be saying, wow, that's a really good game that they've played. We need to be at our best to be able to beat Bangladesh.
Against Hong Kong, I think he played a runner ball innings, was not out towards the end, if I remember correctly. And post-match, he said, we didn't want to lose wickets. Very often, what a team does in one game is not known to fans, but there is surely a certain kind of journey that a team is looking to traverse, and it looked like Bangladesh were looking at this chasing aspect of their play, and they were perhaps working on it to say, all right, let's not lose wickets, let's figure a way to utilize these 20 overs well. It seemed like they seemed to have a plan today, and they executed really well.
Yeah, of course. Look, you do come up with plans. Nobody goes into a game without any plans. It's just that sometimes when you are a team in transition, when you have got new players, a new captain, you try a few things. You just look at what works for you. Sometimes it works for you, and not, again, every condition is not the same. Every match situation is not the same. So the good teams are the ones who adapt very quickly. The good teams are the ones who can change their plans at the drop of a hat. And I think that's very important. That's what you want to see from some of the sides. And that is what you want to see from some of the players. Not everything needs to be handed out as a brief. That is what cricket sense is. That is what cricket smarts are, that you go there, you adapt, you think on your feet, and you deliver the job.
Yeah. There was a slight altercation when Hasaranga got a wicket, and very often we've seen that a lot of the young Bangladeshi players, much like their fans, can be a bit too passionate, perhaps lose focus. But this is a tournament where their journey back to being a solid white ball team must start. They've been 3 times finalists at the Asia Cup, if I remember correctly. India clearly the hot favourites, but this is the tournament where they have to stamp their authority, looking at the T20 World Cup and the ODI World Cup thereafter.
Look, you want to do well. Again, I won't say that this is the tournament they want to stamp the authority. You want to build slowly. All the building blocks are in place. We've spoken about how good they are. They've had a big turnover of coaches as well. Just look at the people. There's Phil Simmons and Mushtaq Ahmed in their coaching group. And more importantly, they've got good players. The most important thing is you need to have good players to work with. Good raw materials to work with, and they have that. Sri Lanka has that. All of them have it. It's about using them. It's about who fits what. And more importantly, as I said, good teams are built with smart players. It's not just skillful players alone. It's smart players who can think on their feet and take decisions, good calculated decisions on their own. And I think that is what you're looking at. But that is why some players are real good players, because they can take those decisions, and that is what you want. Whether they win, whether they don't win, that's a different thing. But you need to build in a solid way, and they have those ingredients.
They play their next 2 Super 4 games on Wednesday and Thursday against India and then against Pakistan. That's 2 back-to-back days, but they'll go into those 2 games, at least the first game for sure against India, with serious momentum and belief. 3-day gap as well, you rest out and you still have the momentum, the rhythm.
Yeah, because you've put in such a solid performance. If you look at the fielding, in the previous game, the fielding was top class. In the first 10 overs of this game, the fielding was really, really good. The bowling performance has been good. The batting performance in this game has been excellent. So you're ticking boxes in all 3 departments in a sense. So you're going into a game with a bucket full of confidence, right? It's. I think, like I said, it shows a 1-ball victory, but it's not. It was far more convincing than that. So it's been a convincing victory which you're taking into your next game.
Sri Lanka, their bowling card will not tell you who bowled that 15th over. Was that the turning point of this defence, or am I reading too much into 1 over from coming to Mendis, because they got a wicket from Hasaranga in the 14th?
It just made things very easy, because when you have a 16-run over when things are tight, it just gives the belief to the chasing team that, look, we've been given sometimes you get 16 runs in maybe 2 and a bit overs. But over here, you've just got 16 in 1. And suddenly things are easier, the pressure valve is released, and you breathe easy. And I think that's the most important thing for a chasing side. And then suddenly the equation looks very, very different. So yeah, in a way you can say Kamindu Mendis and that 16-run over made things easy for Bangladesh in their chase.
This makes you think that what if they didn't have that option of Kamindu Mendis? Yeah. You know, like what Bangladesh did, you've got no option, you go with your top 5. And that's what it is.
Yep.
Maybe Dasun Shanaka could have been used. That's what they'll feel.
Yeah.
They had the
Because
option.
he's used one of Dasun Shanaka's over, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the 14th over saw the man in form, Saif Hassan, who was looking almost ungettable, get out to Vanindu Hasaranga, and one thought that's when Bangladesh will sort of start to lose their grip, but it wasn't to be, and thereafter Towhid Hridoy took over. Sri Lanka play in a couple of days from now. Too many things to worry about, or minor tweaks will do the job for them?
No, I don't think they need to worry about. They just need to look at what they did wrong today. What are the moments, especially, again, we come back to that same thing. There's a passage of play every 5-7 minutes. You need to have a relook at what can happen. And most importantly, can you do something at that given stage?
Yeah.
And are you aware of that situation? I don't think they need to. Look, no team needs to worry too much unless and until you've been beaten fair and square. Yes, they'll be unhappy with the performance of some of their lead bowlers. Again, Nuwan Tushara, he started well. The first over was not bad, just the way he got rid of Towhid Hassan. That was a sensational over. Getting him bowled, beating him with his slower one. But after that, can you follow it up? Dushmanta Chamira, you want your senior bowlers to step up. And again, you can't expect just Vanindu Hasaranga to do it every day or ever so often. So Hasaranga, look, in T20 cricket, sometimes you are heavily reliant on your fellow bowler. Because if he has gone for 16 runs, you're under pressure when you come back to bowl, or even an 11-run over. But Vanindu Hasaranga, over after over, in spite of his other bowlers going for runs, he kept things in check. So it's very important. Again, coming back to what we saw from Afghanistan, 3 bowlers going at 5, 3 bowlers going at 12. You can't do that. So you can't have your lead bowlers leaking runs because they're going to be bowling the important overs.
They play Pakistan in Abu Dhabi, Sri Lanka. Possibly a change in personnel in that match because slightly different conditions from Dubai. Maybe a spinner shot. Is that how you rearrange the pieces against Pakistan in the game?
Well, no, I mean, it depends. I mean, they'll go have a look at the pitch. They'll go have a look at, the conditions there. And sometimes, even though you've lost a game, it might be best to stick with that same 11. Too much of chopping and changing is also not good. I mean, if they had won this game, would you chop and change? No. So, I mean, I'm a believer that you give continuity.
Okay.
You give people enough chances, enough rope to, this thing. So, I wouldn't want to make any changes in that 11.
The captain, Charita Asalanka, said that they were about 15 runs short. If you were in the Sri Lankan camp, what would your post-mortem be of what went right and what went wrong?
I think it's a fair assessment, maybe 15 runs short from where they could have been. Because again, it was only Dasun Shanaka and he didn't have too many partners at that point of time to possibly take it to the target which they wanted. And also, obviously, he can't just completely run his bowlers down. But at the end of the day, when they go back into the dressing room and when things have settled, I'm pretty sure that they'll have a quiet word with the senior bowlers. Because sometimes it's them who set the tempo. When you're defending, 168 is not a bad total. Again, given the conditions, given what we have seen right through the tournament. So you want your bowlers, you want your gun bowlers to actually deliver. And I think that is what is more important. But yeah, the common thing or the common theme which we always hear when teams defending lose, they always say that they were a few runs short.
Did it get slightly easier to bat? What was your assessment of the pitch?
Well, I thought they batted really well.
Okay.
I thought they batted well. And you've got to sometimes just give credit. Yes, I mean, that Mendis over really changed the momentum, really changed the way the chase became that slightly easier. Like Kartik says, suddenly you normally take 16 and 2 overs. Yeah. That was in 1 over, so you get a little bit of cushion. But I thought Saif was outstanding, Hridoy was outstanding. In terms of batting getting easier, yes, that's probably one of the reasons why they decided to chase also, thinking that, maybe the dew factor might come in, it might get a little easier. The pitch with the temperature cooling down a little bit, the pitch might become a slightly better to bat as the game progresses. And when you have a look at that innings progression, you look at the last 10 overs of the game. 11 to 15 went for 9.6 and 16 to 9.5 went for 8. That tells you as the game went on, batting did get easier.
That is where it is then. Super 4's first game to Bangladesh, and this is how the points table looks like. If you're a Bangladesh supporter, you will love this visual. Bangladesh off the mark with a very confident win against Sri Lanka, who do have a bowling pack with a lot of variety, but that's where they are. Then played 1-1 with their next game only after 4 days. Sri Lanka have a few things to sort out. What's in store on Sunday? It is India versus Pakistan once again. And that means your Sunday evening plans are sorted. One-sided game. The last time these two teams met in the first round. But sadly, and I'm sure both of you will weigh in on this, once again, Pakistan in the news for what they do off the field. They did not turn up for the pre-match press conference. What's happening?
I wish I knew, because if they're not turned up, we won't know what's happening there. If they've not turned up, what do you say?
I think it's a sign of protest from them. I think, I'm assuming, speculating over here, we don't know. But it's probably a sign of protest from them.
No, do you have to attend a press conference?
I'm sure it's part of your...
Just like you don't have to shake hands, can they say that we didn't have to come to a press conference?
I think it's part of your media commitments in the tournament. That's what you commit to do, right?
I'm sure it's part of your media commitments.
Okay.
Just by the way, in case any Pakistani fan is watching, Andy Pycroft will be the match referee tomorrow. So none of those protests have worked in any way, and I suppose it's only good for their team, for their fans, if they turn up on time for the game tomorrow against India. A lot of things going wrong for them, barring Fakhar Zaman, who scored a 50 in that game against Afghanistan. Nothing else is working for them. Right up top, Saim Ayub for Pakistan. So Saim Ayub, 3 ducks.
3 ducks. 3 ducks, slightly out of form. Even Salman Ali Agha hasn't looked the part. Saibzada is the batter who's seen as the aggressor, so they need runs from him. But Saim Ayub is a talent. Look, he is a talent. So it's just that for him, thankfully, his bowling is going pretty fine. So that doesn't put that much pressure. But as a batter, and that too a top-order batter, your principal job is to contribute, and that too against a bowling lineup like India, which has got all the variety. You're going to be up against a Bumrah, Hardik Pandya, then the 3 spinners, all very differently abled spinners. So yeah, so it is going to be a big task. And more importantly, for me, Fakhar Zaman is somebody whom I think is a thorn. Every time you think of India, his record in one-day cricket is pretty good against India as an opener, but he's not opened against India in T20s. He's come down the order, and that's actually in a way helped, because by the time the spinners come, and if the team is in a bit of pressure, then it's not easy for Fakhar Zaman either. But yeah, lots of things to look at for Pakistan. You just look at both the teams, you weigh both the sides. Definitely India is the stronger side, much stronger side.
Pakistan managed only 146, I think it was that game against UAE, where Fakhar Zaman scored a 50, but runs not coming up top, and you really don't have a foundation for the others to build on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with Ayub getting 3 ducks. If you're not having runs on top, it puts pressure on the batters to follow, especially against an attack like India's, which, once they sense weakness, they will come, they'll strangle you and they'll choke you, because that's how good this Indian attack is. We had that graphic of, spinners and that trio of spinners. Who do you take? We all chose India because it's a wonderful trio of spinners. So look, Saim Ayub is too good a player to fail too often. He's a wonderful, wonderful talent in world cricket. Yeah. We saw a celebration of his when he picked up wicket. His celebration was really enthusiastic because he felt he had contributed something to the game. Yeah. And I feel he'll be charged up. So I think we will see a decent opening partnership from Pakistan.
He's the one who got both our openers. One with an absolute beauty, which was Shubman Gill. And then a couple of shots from Abhishek. He went inside out, played some good shots of good deliveries, but then was beaten in flight. Caught at long off. So he's somebody who knows how to bowl under pressure. He also knows how to bat. It's just that unfortunately for him,
Shaheen Shah Afridi as well. He is clearly their prime weapon with the ball. Abhishek Sharma took care of him of the first 2 deliveries, put pressure on him. Let's take a look at their 11. They brought in Haris Rauf in for that last game in place of Fahim Ashraf. What's the 11 you'd go with? What's the combination you'd go with? Would you make any changes to that 11?
Well, Haris Rauf has the experience, so I think you might want to stick with him for a game like this. But, you wouldn't mind, again, doing that swap between Rauf and Mukim, because depending on what the pitch is like, you might make that swap. But I don't think they'll make any changes. I think they'll go with the experience of Haris Rauf.
You also want that extra batting cushion with Khushdil Shah staying in the 11, right? Would you bring in Sufyan Mukim for Khushdil?
Conditions are very similar to what we saw. So Khushdil with his options, I think, adds a lot of variety. There was when we did a show, I think when Simon was with us, and he spoke about Mohammad Wasim Jr. Yeah. If you remember, you and me were on the show, and he said he's somebody to look at as a bowling option and who can also use the long handle. They've not looked at him at all during this tournament. I don't know why, but again, I'll go with what Rohan said. In a crunch game like India, you want Pakistan to have lots of experience, and I think that's what they will go with.
Now, let's talk about India. How easy or important is it for India to forget anything and everything they did against Oman in that game, which was one of the bizarrest games I've seen India play?
No, I don't think they're going to be looking too much into it. I think we look at it more than they would look at. I think it's just a game, and Rohan mentioned that it was an extended session out there. They wouldn't have been happy. Maybe they would have expected that anybody we dish out at Oman, they're good enough to take care. But you have to give credit to Oman that they pushed India.
Yeah.
The margin, according to T20 parlance, is huge, but you won't expect that from India, that you thought that they would have crushed them a lot more.
I don't. The only aspect from that game that they'd be worried about or they'd look at is the bowling. The fact that the bowlers conceded so many runs. Otherwise, I don't think they'd really be dissecting that game and saying, oh, we should have done that, we should have done this. No. It was like they've got the victory.
Two of the bowlers may not be playing tomorrow.
Yeah, two of the bowlers might not be playing. I mean, I think, I'm pretty sure they won't be. Harshdeep and Harshit won't play because you'll get Varun and Bumrah back.
Yep.
So look, that changes the complexion of the bowling attack. So look, like I said, I don't think they'll be looking too much into it. It wasn't a bizarre game. I mean, it was, like I said, we won the game. We've got the points. They tried something. They were experimenting. And they've got the result.
They won by what, 20 odd runs?
Yeah, 20 odd runs. But I think, like I said, the bowling will be disappointed because on that pitch, you would have expected the bowlers to do better. So they would have dissected that, but not too much. They would have said, we are unbeaten, we are playing really good cricket.
Yeah.
Let's continue that.
The intensity will be very different from how it was against Oman. The lineup will be different. The return of Bumrah and Varun will clearly make this India 11 look very, very different. Only two changes, or is there something else you think about?
I don't think there'll be any other change because they're doing pretty fine. Good to see that Sanju Samson got a hit yesterday. He didn't have a hit at all because the others were getting runs. And as you said, the comeback of Jasprit, when Jasprit Bumrah and Varun Chakravarti, not a comeback, but when Jasprit Bumrah and Varun Chakravarti come back, it adds a lot of bite and teeth to our bowling.
So if they didn't make a change against the Oman game, they won't be making a change unless it's a forced change in terms of injury.
Yeah.
If you were going to give someone a run out, the guys who haven't played, you would have made sure they played against Oman. We could have said, okay, listen, they're going to play against Pakistan. Let's give them some match practice against Oman.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the guys who didn't play, Rinku and Rinku and whoever didn't play.
Jitesh.
Rinku and Jitesh didn't play. I don't think unless there's an injury, I don't think they'll be playing this game either.
Right, India on a 5-match winning streak. India showed their might with the bat and the ball the last time they played Pakistan. Very quickly, gentlemen, on this Sunday India-Pakistan clash or game, players to watch out for. One each, please.
I'll start with Abhishek from India.
Okay.
And from Pakistan, I'm still going with Saim Ayub.
I'm going to go with Saim Ayub because I think we might see some runs from him tomorrow.
Okay.
And from India, I'm going to go with Shubman Gill.
Due for some runs, Shubman Gill as the T20 vice-captain as well. Now, Joy was in a good mood as well because he typically sends in questions which have some sort of topical reference. Today was the day when number 18 went past number 18. What list was that? Let's take a look at the question first. And let's see if any of you were able to crack this one. If it's Virat Kohli, Virender Sehwag and Virat Kohli again at number 2, 3 and 4 for India in ODIs, followed by Mohammad Azharuddin and KL Rahul. Joint fifth, who is it at number 1? And Mr. Gavaskar will enlighten us.
It's Smriti Mandhana, fastest ODI hundreds. She's number 1 now after what she did today against Australia. So it was a bit of a trick question because, you had the names of all the men's this thing and the question was phrased in something India, not men's Indian team. So the trick question from Joy. So well done, Joy.
India, the women's team playing...
Please say that I got it right.
No, that's what they said.
No, you just made me give the answer.
Oh, sorry. No, you were not specific.
He's the best quizzer on Cricbuzz.
Thank you.
Sadly, his name does not get to come on the winners graphic. And we will have the actual winner's name because he's an insider, yaar, घर के इनका नाम नहीं डाल सकते. Vikash Kumar is the winner and he does get a thumbs up.
You guys, lovely, brilliant.
Well done.
And prediction में क्या हुआ आज? I mean, in the second innings?
Everybody won, sir. Everybody won.
Everybody
the two of us won.
In the first innings, second
Won
innings?
Yeah, 1 out
We're
of
all
2.
happy. We're all happy.
Okay.
Everybody goes home happy from Cricbuzz on this Saturday. Murali, Kartik and I did well the first innings. Mr. Gavaskar got it right in the second innings. I've been told there's something else as well.
Yeah, Man United won, so we are all...
You
are all going home happy. We are all
you
going
want to
home
show
happy.
us what you're wearing inside? No, you're wearing a mic, so you can't.
Yeah, I can't.
He's dressed in his Manchester United colours. It's so good to see United fans happy. 2-0 was it?
2-1.
2-1. No problem at all. They will soon be in the top 5 of the Premier League. Where does Mr. Gavaskar find himself on that Guezzing game leaderboard? Let's take a look very quickly. What do we have? Not bad, sir.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Number 2, what's happening with Mr. Kartik? Sir. What's happening with you, sir?
आज मूड नहीं था.
आज सर का मूड नहीं था.
Anyway.
कोई बात नहीं. He's back tomorrow. I think he'll reserve his comments for when Miss Kher is in this chair tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Mr. Gavaskar takes a break as well because he needs to celebrate United's win. Mr. Bhogle will be in that chair with Mr. Kartik. So do join that super trio at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow on Cricbuzz Live for India versus Pakistan. Good night.